education. Distract them from learning something which is constructive, pragmatic, efficient. Teach them history of urban warfare, natural food, home economy, your sexuality.
To its 10 and its 1. I've got 3 tens, which is 30, and 5 ones, so that is 30 plus 5. 12 is 1 10 plus 2 ones. Okay, so that's step 1. The next step would be to draw a large box. Okay, and on this box we're going to put both of our expanded numbers. So on the top I'm going to put 30 plus 5, and on the side I'm going to put 10 plus 2. Where your plus signs are, I want you to draw lines through the middle and down it. And then in the very corner, we're still multiplying, so I'm going to put a big multiplication sign. Starting with our very first number on the top, we say 10 times this, 10 times that. So first we're going to do 10 times 30. Sometimes it gets a little tricky when we have those extra zeros on there when we're multiplying by a 10. So I like to say 1 times 3 is 3, and how many zeros do we have? We've got 2, so we attach them to the end of the number. So 10 times 30 is 300. We did 10 times this, 10 times that. 10 times 5 is 50, so it goes in the first box. And then we do 2. We go down to the 2 because we're done with the 10. 2 times this, 2 times that. So 2 times 30. 2 times 3 is 6. And between both of these numbers, I've only got the 1 0, so I attach it to the end. 2 times 30 is 60. 2 times this, 2 times that. Now I'm going to do 2 times 5. 2 times 5 is 10. I filled up all my numbers on the inside. Now all I have to do is add them up. So over here I'm going to add 300, and I like to check them off as I go. 50, 60, and 10. Make sure you line up your places too. 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0, those are zeros all the way down, so 0. 0 plus 5 is 5. 5 plus 6 is 11. 11 plus 1 more is 12. Bring that 2 and carry that 100. 3 plus 1 is 4, and that is your answer. 35 times 12 equals 420.
I was crying while watching this video because I was unfortunate enough not to benefit from a Common Core American education, so I didn't learn any of this garbage in school. But all jokes aside, as I went to the comment section of this viral TikTok video, I saw a lot of people defending this. Many people were defending this, and the two most common defenses was that, number one, this is a teacher explaining the method, so obviously it's going to take longer than if you just do the calculus. But let's be honest, this took 3 minutes to do, right? So even if you weren't explaining the method, it's still slower than doing it properly. And the second thing is like, well, she's just trying to teach the kids a trick in order to do the calculus better. And I'm thinking, like, you're at the level where you're trying to multiply 35 with 12, and you're overly complicating it. Imagine when you have to do actual complex equations later on. Are you going to use this method for every single calculus? Like, you're genuinely gimping yourself. You're playing hard mode. But you know what? Like, fine. Okay, don't believe me. Don't believe me. Let's listen to the experts, because this is what everyone cares about. What do the experts have to say about this?
Common Core underprepare students for STEM career. That's science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. It's sort of a buzzword that's come up in education, and we're very concerned about students and preparing them for these fields. Careers in STEM depend on students taking calculus as seniors, as many people have noted. And if you work the courses backward, that would require 8th graders to take Algebra 1. As it stands right now, from what I've observed as a mathematics educator looking at the standards online, the standards in math in elementary school do not adequately prepare our students for taking Algebra 1 as 8th graders. There's a lot of content that's missing, there's a lot of things that are out of order, and it sort of puts these students at a disadvantage right from the start. So already in 8th grade, now we're telling them they have no future to be anything greater than, I don't know what else, they don't have the ability to achieve their potential because now they don't have that, that background.
It's getting so bad that MSNBC released an article. 54% of American adults between the age of 16 to 74 read below a 6th grade level. So that means we have an epidemic of illiteracy. Professor Brittany Copper reacts to book banning. If you make people ignorant, then it becomes much easier to control them. So, of course, this is because of the right. Like, the right-wingers are trying to keep people illiterate. If you look at the books that they're trying to remove from schools, first of all, it's not book banning. Like, if you remove something from the school curriculum, it doesn't mean that the students can't read it in their own free time. And furthermore, the difference between a book in the curriculum and a book that's optional is that the book that's optional, you read it for yourself. The book into the curriculum, you have to memorize it and then tell it back to the teacher. So you're forced to study it. Now, the books that I have seen being removed have to do either with CRT or with sexuality, which is something that I don't see how it prevents people from gaining literacy. Like, if you don't read a book about sexuality, maybe you won't know your LGBTs, but you probably will know your ABCs. But ignore what the context and the framing is, right? 54% of Americans read below a 6th grade level. So what are the lawmakers doing in order to combat this? And the answer is that in some American states, the progressive lawmakers are doing what the progressives are best at, which is to put the problem under the rug, to pretend it doesn't exist. And because of this, Oregon students would no longer have to prove they can do basic reading, writing, and math to graduate under a new bill. In other words, let's hide the numbers. Let's give up on these kids, because the purpose of a school is just to take taxpayer money and pay people a wage. It's not to produce talent anymore. It's not to produce people that are capable of finding a good job or anything like that and think for themselves, heaven forbid. So you may be wondering, why did I decide to make this particular video? Why did I choose this particular topic? And it's got to do with a post that went absolutely viral on social media. It shows an interesting math problem, which says that Marty ate 4/6 of his pizza and Louis ate 5/6 of his pizza. Marty ate more pizza than Louis. How is that possible? To which the solution that the student wrote is that Marty's pizza is bigger than Louis' pizza. So the teacher says, nope, that is not possible because 5/6 is greater than 4/6, so Louis ate more. In other words, this teacher probably just looked at the result, that is the correct answer to the test, saw that the correct answer wasn't given, didn't even spend a couple of seconds to analyze what the student said, and that's it. Because in modern education, you're not taught how to think, you're taught what to think. There's a standard, you have to meet the standard, and if you don't meet the standard, you're wrong. You're not allowed to think outside the box, you're not allowed to be creative. And it's sad, it's a problem that the media doesn't talk about. I mean, the numbers are very concerning, and when the media does talk about it, they blame it on the right-wingers. Now, the reason that I also decided to show you this, I'm pretty sure like some people can say, well, you just got it from social media, and maybe it's fake, maybe just someone made it up, and it's possible. It's possible, but what I don't think is that people didn't make up the thousands of comments that were posted under this, with people complaining that their teachers did the same in a different circumstance, that they solved the math problem and the teacher wasn't happy that they didn't use the correct way of solving the math problem. But overwhelmingly, most people are saying that the issue is that everything is standardized. You're not allowed to deviate from the acceptable way of thinking. And this picture, this thing, is actually a meme. of sorts. It symbolizes exactly that. And it got so many people upset, causing it to go viral. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the comment sections. Take care.